Welcome to the Daily Detox Podcast. I'm your man Deon J, and today we have Sinclair.
Thank you, Noob Noob. Appreciate you. And man, just so happy that you got a forum that you can share all that you have to offer, man. And just curating this content and giving us a voice is right on time.
So today's topic, elite donations to elite HBCUs. I know you heard recently in the news that Jeff Bezos' ex-wife donated $40 million to HBCUs. I know Tuskegee was one of those schools that received money.
Yep. TU.
As you can see, Sinclair is an alumni of Tuskegee University.
I know, right?
So Sinclair, to answer my question, why are these elite HBCUs, Morehouse, Spelman, Tuskegee, the list goes on, why are they receiving so many elite donations?
I think there's a difference between private universities and public universities. And just based on their charters and their board of regions, the state schools are going to be heavily controlled by people who live in those states. That doesn't mean there's not provisions on these boards to have people from outside of the state, but by and large, when you have a board for be it a predominantly white or black school, if it's in a particular state, the people who sit on that board, by and large, probably either live in that state or definitely have some close ties in order to get on that. So that doesn't mean they can't be influential people, but it does make it more of a state-focused selection process. Now, when you have a private school, they're drawing from, a whole, a whole bunch of reasons. I mean, each one of these boards have their private criteria how you become a member. But I would just say, Tuskegee is private, Morehouse is private, Howard has a quasi federal place, but is a quasi private, and with those in Hampton's private. So those schools probably have people on their board. Like I remember at Tuskegee, we had the president of Pepsi Cola, Craig Winthrop. We had the president of Edison's magazine, Edward Lewis, at the time when I was there. And so you had members from, throughout the world. And when Tuskegee had its board meetings, one of their board meetings was in New York, and then one was at Tuskegee. But they always had a external view, and even with historically, when we look at the United Negro College Fund, it was actually a president of Tuskegee, Frederick Patterson, that helped organize that organization. And those schools were small, private, historically black colleges that typically didn't get as much access to funds. So what they said was, if we all, including Tuskegee, join in this pot, what we'll do is be able to leverage the bigger name schools in a way that all the schools could benefit, because the UNCF would benefit from fundraising collectively. So I think when it comes to these private donations, the rules, the autonomy of those private schools to use the funds as they see fit is very different than a state institution, where maybe even if you had a president that wanted to use the funds one way, there will be an influence of the state politics that might in some ways influence, if not, create a situation where the donor doesn't feel that the funds will go as they should be spent. So, I mean, I think there's a host of reasons.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I was thinking that private institutions, they give donors the ability to lobby their dollars to many aspects of the school, such as, getting a dorm named after them, or a seat on the school's board, or even just creating a unique program at the school. But, I mean, you got schools like Cheney University, who almost lost their charter last year, and you're telling me there's no one that's advising these elite donors that, hey, these other institutions need help as well. I mean, come on. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think when you're dealing with private institutions, there's less earmark, less regulatory, less layers of bureaucracy, and again, like schools like Cheney, like, I want to say it's Cheney State. I think it is state. So I don't want to be guessing on that, but I'm just saying again, you're not just dealing with a discrete board of, let's say, 12 or 20 or 15 people and a president. You're dealing with the politics of a state, and then the question becomes, if this, and maybe it could have been something where they should have said, well, if the state matches these funds, maybe there's a play. But again, you see, once you start dealing with these, like, governments suck, bro. I've dealt with politics, bro, and been slaughtered in every newspaper with it. And I'm telling you, dealing with these states, these governments, and the shenanigans could make a private individual with money just say, you know what, I'll pass on that and go with, the people who can just name a street after me without, not necessarily a street, a dorm at least after me, and not even worry about the rest of it.